the previous video, we rendered our Google events to our application and used the Sendgrid API to send and receive emails to the upcoming events. So now we are done with the GET request and with the POST request here. And let us see if I can make any more changes, any further changes to this code. This events, this works fine. List the next 10 events. Okay, this is from the Google API where okay, where is sending the event to my application. Okay, this post request to /event, this is sending the email, and now I have to do one more thing to this post request. I have to make new events from my app. Now we will work on how to make events from our app into our Google Calendar. So this will take a lot of coding, so follow me along. I'll do it quick. So inside this post request we have const a Google object. Google are required from the Google APIs, and then we have const Oauth. We have Oauth2, the very secured medium of authentication. Oauth2 google.auth. Okay, const Oauth2 client to process that auth. Now this takes two arguments. Now it usually is your client ID and then your client secret. What are these? I'll tell you in a minute. Your calendar ID and your client secret. Okay, for now leave it like this. And after this we have Oauth2 client.set credentials. I need to set credentials. Set credentials refresh token. I need a refresh token. Now the refresh token, your refresh token, we'll see what the refresh token is after some time. We have to set these parameters. We have const calendar is equals to google.calendar, then version v3, and then Oauth2 client, which processes the Oauth. We have event start time, the start time of our event, Google event start time, which can be a new date. The date function extracts a new date for my event automatically. And we have event start time dot set time or set date. I can even set time. We have set date. Set date takes an argument event start dot get day plus 2. That means my event will start at a random date at a random time chosen by the date function, and it will go on to plus 2. We have const event end time, which is also equal to date, and we have event end time dot set date. It will be same like event end time dot get day equals to, it's plus 2. And then we have event end time dot set minutes. Now this is used to specify how long or how much duration and for how much duration is the event going on. It can be 60 minutes, it can be for 45 minutes, it can be half an hour, it can be 10 minutes, it can be anything. For now we are fine with 60 minutes, so let us take an hour. We have const calendar. Calendar is done. Const events, an object. Const event, individual event is an object with properties summary. Summary is equal to request.body.summary, whatever I provide inside my application, input of my application. We have description, whatever the description I provide inside my application. summary and description done. We have color ID. This is not necessary, but I did it, so color ID can range from 1 to 9. It shows color dots on your Google ID, on your Google Calendar. We have start. The event starts at date time local, which will show the date and then the time with the time zone. The date time is equal to event start time, and end, it will end at date time event end time. Okay, we have summary, description, ID, the start time and the end time. What else do we need? We don't need anything. Now we have calendar.free busy query that will check if we are free for that duration of the time, or if we are engaged in any other event or activity. So we have resource. It will look for resource, and what resource we are giving time minimum time, and then maximum time, end time, event end time. Okay, now this will look for those 60 minutes. We have set the event start time and end time for a duration of 60 minutes. Now it will look that if I am occupied for 60 minutes, for those 60 minutes it will send a free busy query that will tell if I'm busy at that moment or not. Okay, ID is primary. That means it will look, the free busy query will look inside my primary Google Calendar only. If I having more than one account, it will look only inside my primary calendar. So what else we have? We have an error. We have a function with error and response. Okay, asynchronous function. Oh, sorry. We have error and response inside function, error function. We have error response inside the function, arrow function, and inside the arrow function we have an if query. If there is an error, return I am busy or something like this. Free busy query error, that is error. I need to see the error. I want to see the error. We have cons event if I am not free, if I am not busy, sorry, if I am not busy, if I am free. Then event r is equal to rest.data.calendar.primary, means whatever the data my primary calendar is having, it will extract all of this in the event r. Now we'll check if event r, the variable dot length is equals to 0. That means if I am not busy, means if I am free, then that event length will be 0. If I am not busy, I'll return that the event is created successfully. Okay, now return calendar.events.insert. Now insert the events with key values as calendar ID as primary, and what will it take as resource? It will take the event which I submit as a resource. Okay, now the second argument is error function, single argument error. If there occurs an error, this can be any type of error, then return console.log error creating calendar. Sorry, the spelling is not right. I think CALENDER. And by the way, you can forgive me if I type CALENDER. And if there is not an error, if none of the error occurs, then we have event created successfully. Okay, now inside this, I think insert function, outside it Now this if needs to be closed. So outside that if, where is that if? Here is that if. Now outside the if we have return console.log, sorry, my schedule is busy or something like that. Now this will be the case when events air dot length is not equals to 0. That means I am busy. There is already an event inside my calendar to which I am trying to send the event. So this will point to, now this will send an error that I am busy. So now we are done with the code. Now let us head back to the Oauth to this parameters, your client ID and your client secret and your refresh token. So for that, go to Chrome. Inside Chrome, type or search for Google Developer Console or developer.google.com. Google Developer Console. Hit the first link, and inside Google Developer Console, we have to make a new project. Okay, let it spin. Come on, we have to make a new project. So we'll create a new project. Let us name it Google Calendar or something like this, Google-Calendar. Now it is creating the Google Calendar. I have view project. Now inside this I have the notification. Now it is done. The final build is done. View project. Now inside the project settings, I go to project settings. Now I see project name G Calendar. I think this is not the one. Google Calendar. It is the one, Google Calendar. Okay, now I see Google Calendar. Now this is the right project. So inside Google APIs, click the Google APIs and click for enable APIs. This will enable Google Calendar. So search for Google Calendar. Oops, it's Google Calendar API, and then enable this API. Once done, our project will be able to use and fetch data from the Google Calendar API. So it's done. Name Google Calendar API. Okay, we have to make credentials, create credentials, but before this we have to make an OAuth consent screen. Now OAuth consent screen are those little pop-ups that ask you for your permissions. OAuth consent screen are of two types, internal and external. Internal is limited to G Suite, means I don't know what G Suite means. External, we have to select external, create, and we have application name Google-Calendar. Okay, you can ignore the spelling every time, and then the email, and then we have last save. No need to add further information. We save, and that the OAuth consent screen has been added. Okay, now inside the APIs we have credentials, and we have to make credentials for our project Google Calendar. So we hit on create credentials, and we will make OAuth client ID, which is required by our code in the VS Code. It is a web application, so it is web application, web client 1. It is a name, and now I hit save. Okay, now this is a OAuth client created. You can see I have client ID and I have client secret. By the time I publish this, I already told you that I am going to delete this project, so you can see it here. I'm not going to hide it. So if I edit the OAuth client ID, I have inside this I have authorized URIs. I need to add URI, so go to Google Chrome and search for Oauth 2 Playground. Google Oauth 2 Playground. You need to search for Google Oauth 2 Playground and hit the first link. Now copy this homepage URL and then paste it inside the authorized URI. And make sure if it shows a red boundary or it focuses red, then the link is not, or URL is not valid. So I have saved. Okay, now it has been added. Let me check it. Authorize. Okay, now I have client ID here and I have client secret here and the creation date as well. So I can copy the client ID and then inside the settings tab of Playground I have use your own auth credentials. Paste the ID here and go back and paste, copy the client secret from here and paste the client ID there. Okay, close it. Now search for, inside the step 1, search for Google Calendar. Scroll down to C. It is Google Calendar API v3. Select the first two. First two are namely /calendar and /calendar.events. Authorize APIs. Now this will take you an authorization page. Okay, choose an account. Have been verified. Okay, let's verify it. Go to quick start, calendar. Now this is the Oauth consent screen. This pop-up, these pop-ups are Oauth consent screen. Now we have authorized Google Calendar to view our events. Okay, now you can see authorization code has been achieved here. Exchange authorization code for refresh tokens. Now we have refresh token in exchange for authorization code. Go to step 2, refresh token, and then this long string is the refresh token. We need all these three of the information inside our code. So let us get back to our code. And inside this Oauth dev.env we have to make new variables. First of all, it is client ID because it is needed by the Oauth 2 function. So client ID, and make sure all of the letters are in caps. Dev.env. Inside dev.env you have to make sure that all of the letters are in caps. So client ID I have to go and paste it. Okay, and then client secret, and then I have to paste the client secret. I hope you are not seeing the secret. Okay, here client secret is here, and now we are almost done with it. So we are going to make a new credential with API key. Now the API key has been created. Now we have to restrict it so that only few things or only calendar can use it. So we have to restrict it so that only Google Calendar can access it. So Google Calendar API, take it. Oops, what is this? Google Calendar, take it. Okay, save. It happens. Okay, now we have API key and we have web client 1 auth 2 client ID. So I edit this and let me see what is my API key. And this is my API key. I'm going to copy it, but I'm not going to need anymore. So I'm going to this, copy the client ID, the name, and paste it just like this, process.env.client ID. Make sure your variable name matches exactly as inside the dev.env. So that is why I'm copying and pasting it, to save myself from typing errors. Process.env.client secret. Okay, now comes the refresh token. Where this refresh token comes from, you can go back to the Playground and copy the refresh underscore token from there. Go to Oauth playground and then copy the refresh token, Control C, and then paste it here. Now we're done with all the information needed for our app.js. Copy paste and then process.env.paste. Okay, now all our environment variables are set up, and once again do not forget to put the config folder into the gitignore so that it is not shared publicly, and for that hit type config inside the gitignore. And while in the background I just move all of the Sendgrid API key, Sendgrid text inside app.post. So we are done with app.js. Let me check it if it works or not. npm run dev. We have completed all the 3 stages of our app. We have rendered the event, we have sent the mail, and now we are going to create new events. So first of all, let me sign in. The first step was to render the events. Sign in. Okay, advanced. Consent screen. Okay, allow. And now the access token, copy and now paste it here inside this. Get events. Refresh the browser to see your events. Okay, continue. Now this email ID is having a single event, that is attend online classes. Okay, the first part is here, render all the events to HTML. Okay, and now comes the second part, send the email. I can send an email to XXX. Okay, the event title is cocktail party. Wait a minute, I think cocktail party. Okay, event body is don't be late. If I hit submit, then it shows. Now it shows your event is created successfully, and now I'm going to see it inside the Google Calendar. So yes, it is with a red dot with color ID, this nice cocktail with ice cubes in it. I have cocktail party today. Okay, don't be late. Okay, so I have made a new event from my app to my Google Calendar. So the second step is done. And now for the third step, let's verify if I got an email or not. So if I hit now, here you see I have got an email for the confirmation of the event cocktails party today. Now all of the 3 parts of our app are now working, and finally we can say that we have completed the last stage of our app and our app is ready to run. Okay, so now all of this is done. So now if I hit and refresh and I go inside the console, I will see the event is created successfully, because at that moment the event was created. I was not having any event inside my event array, so it was showing that event created successfully. So inside console you can see event created successfully because the events dot length was 0. At the time of creation the events dot length was 0. You can see events dot length the triple equals to 0. Okay, but now since I have already made an event, and if I try to make another event now, it will for that time, then it will point me that sorry, my schedule is busy. So let me send email to the same event to the same attendee. Cocktail party is old. A dance party will be fine after the cocktail party. Dance party is today. We have come quick. Now okay, now I will see this. Sorry, my schedule is busy at the moment because at this moment of my submission, my events dot length is not equals to 0, and this shows that I am not available to attend your event at that time. And for the final time, don't forget to push your config folder into the git ignore. For that, type config into the git ignore file. So this was it guys, this was the app. I hope you liked the app. If you got left behind at any point of the time, you can see the code inside my GitHub repo. I put a link inside the description, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. The next time we'll meet, we'll make a new awesome project. Till then, goodbye and thank you.